I have to say, going through this experience where high functioning psychopaths have organized low functioning ones, it's really, really, you learn a lot because if you're someone like me, where most of your socialization has been with people with education, like physicians, RNs, and even CNAs, most CNAs are very pro-social, decent people. You really don't know like the spectrum of humanity. Like, and when I say a spectrum of humanity, I mean like people who are in a sphere where they socialize mostly with educated people, and even if they're sociopaths, they can put up a ruse and pretend to be pro-social. So they can complete education, they respond normally to challenges, to adversities, to stress and anxiety. They have a reasonably normal range of responses we expect in society. But if you're in a rare situation like me, where high functioning, so like the highest functioning sociopaths, where they combine both a fair amount of gifted people, a fair amount of intelligent people who are extremely antisocial. And so they wear these masks and they smile and they pretend to be wealth builders and the world needs them and they're the best people, but they're actually secretly the worst, most evil people. And everything happening in the world is because of these people, right? If you're in a rare situation where you're targeted people like this, they have a capacity to find the depths of humanity in terms of the lowest functioning psychopaths. And let me tell you, if you're a normal individual, typical individual, where most of your socialization experiences have been with people with a moderate intelligence, a moderate pro-social or higher, it just blows your mind like the depths of humanity that you just marvel at it. Like most of us have only seen things like this on people of Walmart, where there's an extremely low functioning person who's very intellectually handicapped, and they're just behaving in a perplexing way that then goes viral for views. And most people are like above that. So they look at this person's behavior and they say to themselves, like, how can you behave like that? Right. And the kind of people where they're so down in terms of ability, intellectually, pro-social behavior, any quality that would make you a citizen, right? They're on the bottom 10% of every quality, like pro-social instinct, compassion, capacity to problem solve, friendliness, presentation, anything that would talent, intelligent, they're on the bottom 10% of every human quality. And we usually see these people in like people of Walmart and they go viral for the shit they do, right? So I'm in a very rare circumstance, most people are not, where the highest functioning sociopaths are the most dangerous because of how they control everything. And they've been over decades and centuries, even. They've been in families that have been doing nothing but making calculated moves to control people in amass power. They wear skin suits, they smile, they're celebrated as great people even, but they're secretly the most deeply evil people in the world. And if you have any doubts, if you look at the state of the world, most of it's their doing, right? So these people are deeply evil, but they're quite powerful and high functioning to the point no one can stop them because their high functioning ability, whatever giftedness they have, whatever intelligence, they use it just to amass power, to do more evil, to get more control. And they've made a little cult. You see everything going on with MAGA, with the destruction of America. They are behind it, right? I'm in a super rare situation where I was targeted by those people when I was a child, literally a child, in the sense I may have been technically 19, which is an adult legally, but I had completely stopped developing at 15 because I just isolated myself and I did not leave the house. I didn't engage with anyone for 4 years. So mentally, I was very much a child and I had totally stopped developing. So I say I was targeted as a child, even though I was 19. I was not a normal 19-year-old. It's not like I was graduating high school and I was socializing all this time and going out in the world and thinking about college. Like I was literally a mentally ill 15-year-old that was just arrested when I was targeted, right? And I think they make themselves feel better by saying I was technically 19, which is a legal adult, but mentally I was 15. As I had such a mental health crisis. it removed me from society, and I could not develop, learn anything, do anything, but just stay stuck, right? So they like to make the bit like, we're not targeting you because of what you did as a child. You were 19. That's an adult by a few months. It's like, first of all, 19-year-olds, even healthy ones, their brain is not done growing. And in my case, not only was I 19, which we know is legally an adult, but your brain's really not done growing. But I was literally mentally fit because that's the last time I had any experiences. Um, yeah, so they like to make it better, like, we're not torturing you because of what you did as a child who needed help. We're torturing because you're a bad person. And they're lying to themselves. I know they're lying to themselves. Like, they don't want to accept the reality, like, you're just a decent person, you're raping and torturing her, because I was targeted at 15, right? Anyway, so like I said, I'm in a rare situation where these people are targeted me, like, and they can organize the worst, lowest, the kind of people around people at Walmart, and the shit they do just blows your mind, right? Um, Yesterday I told the story of like a really hypofrontal low white trash person, right? I went to the park. I didn't do anything to this woman. I went to a public park and she had her dog off leash running laps around the park. Like, that's a social signal that says you can trust my dog. So provided I don't do anything like open the door where he can run out and hurt himself, and I'm careful not to do that, like, I can come in. It's everyone's park, right? So I did, and I went to my corner, and she lost control of her dog, and her dog tried to attack my dog. Now any normal person of moderate, average intellectual faculties would look at that and be like, that's my fault, right? My dog attacked her dog. But she begins screaming at me. Like, it's like having a chimp yell at you. So I'm just like, this woman is like, this is what great apes do. Like, great apes, because they have such a little ability to understand the world, they either are relaxed or they're ready to kill. They have no in between. And they very, very easily go into violence because, again, if you're an animal, you don't have advanced logical faculties to discuss, to entertain different hypotheses, to have gray areas. You just have a few modes, and your modes are like, I'm going to eat, I'm going to play, and I'm going to kill, right? I'm going to defend, and then I'm going to kill, right? That's your modes if you're an animal, and that's how great apes are. So, like, if great apes are in a situation where they feel anxious or uncertain, and that feeling's not going away, they'll try to kill you, right? And this is kind of like, it's like witnessing human beings who live like this, right? Like, it's indescribable that this is how some people live their lives, like navigating the world like a great ape that can talk, right? And so she's screaming at me as if I did something to her, and I did nothing to this woman besides being subjected to her dog's uncontrolled behavior. Now, if I was like her, a low functioning, stupid person, I would have been blaming her and attacking her that her dog ran after my dog. But, as a not stupid person, I'm just like, your fucking dog ran after my dog. Like, get away from me. Like, I have nothing to say to you. I don't even understand the concept why you're angry. Like, what are you angry about? Like, you are the one who's been fucking with me from the beginning. This is not your park. This is everyone's park. I could see being angry if I came over to her. Like, they have a lot of workers, and many of them will come over to me to try to agitate my dog. But I didn't do that to her, right? I don't want anything to do with this white trash piece of shit, right? I just go about my life ignoring these people. But they'll commonly get their workers to come over and like passively kind of try to agitate my dogs, like it happened today a few minutes ago. But again, even like, I don't care. I don't care because it doesn't bother me. Like, I know what you are. And, whatever. If you want to take money to do this sad stuff, go ahead. But the real mind-blowing thing, like, this is what I mean, like, this is why I like to go away from history, because the kind of people they brought here are so incredibly low functioning that they have a capacity to behave as the lowest degenerate in a way people can't do even if they're paid to. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know how to explain this to you, but the kind of people they organized to come here are so profoundly handicapped. I said before, like, this is why I don't feel anything for them, because they just exude limitation and inferiority. They exude limitation and inferiority to the point you can't even be angry at them. It's like being angry at a handicapped person screaming things at you because he was told to scream things at you. That's what it feels like. Like if you could imagine a really perverse handicapped zone, like a handicapped facility, where instead of going to bingo and taking trips to the mall and healthy activities, the workers who were organizing everything told them, like, you can get special things for being violent and yelling, right? That's what it feels like. So I can't even be angry at them because the vibe they give off is complete mindlessness and limitation, just parroting what they were told to do. And their complete lack of limits or like social decency in any way, it extends beyond what they're doing to me. They have no social decency whatsoever, and they're just profoundly limited people. And I don't feel angry at them, right? I just marvel at like I'm at a zoo. But like I told the story of this woman yesterday, right? So they hired her to wait in front of my house. Like I know she's way too stupid to find out where I live, right? This is what I mean. Like they need their handheld and they're being directed to behave like really bad apes, bad chimps, right? And I just think about how sad this is. This woman waiting. She's angry for no reason because she's a chimp. And just like a grade ape, like they understand nuances, like able to absorb all the information and come to a human like conclusion. They just know I felt bad in that moment. It's like a dog. Like if a dog feels bad, they'll associate that bad thing with feeling bad and respond. This is what this woman has done. She felt bad in that moment when she lost control of her dog, and she's now associating with that bad feeling and just escalate. This is another thing I noticed from the limited people. Like the anger they feel, they can only escalate it because they can't reason. It's just like something a chimpanzee would do. Like, I felt angry near you, and I can't think, I can't reason, I can't balance, I can't do anything but just escalate. Because every time I associate you with that bad feeling, I'm just escalating the bad feeling. And all they can do is destroy and be violent. It's really a wonder to witness. So they hired this woman. And again, I don't know why they do this. Because, like I said, I don't feel bad. Like, I mean, nobody wants a yelling grade ape who's 200 pounds in their face. Like, if I was at a zoo and I was forced to be in the zoo and a chimp was like, I wouldn't like that either. I'd probably shake a little bit, right? But, just like I'm not scared of a chimp, other than its ability to like hit me, then I'm not scared of these people because I know they have their handhelds in everything they do. They're really not allowed to do shit. And everything they do, they're told to do and they're directed to do it, right? So, it's just like the only thing I think when I see these people is how low they are. Like, it's just taking the visage, like you're standing in your slippers, in stretch pants. You have on a Bayonne Bees t-shirt, which tells me a lot that the last social thing you really did that was somewhat normal was go to high school, and you were like almost 40 now. The fact you're wearing this Bayonne Beast t-shirt tells me the last social participation for real that you ever had was when the state let you go to high school. And you just stopped at that point because you couldn't do anything else. You're too limited. So you didn't develop your life. You don't have a career. You didn't get education. You just have your Bayonne Beast t-shirt, your stretch pants, your slippers, and that pot you're smoking right now, like you're smoking a blunt. Again, they all smoke blunts. Like this is like I remember I did research on this. I'm like, because I noticed so many of these people are compulsive marijuana users. And, there's a lot of, they say that marijuana rots your brain, but I actually discovered research is reversed. And being intellectually handicapped, like having a bottom 20% brain makes you obsessed with marijuana. Like the two kind of users that are obsessed with marijuana are severely anxious. So this could be a gifted person even, but they have severe anxiety and they're also at risk for alcoholism. So that's one type of compulsive pot user where they have severe anxiety, but they're not like handicapped and they like marijuana because of its anxiolytic properties. And the other branch of compulsive marijuana user is literally bottom 20 percentile brain development. So they are literally borderline retarded. they have very low IQs. And this is where the link to schizophrenia comes in extensively, in the sense because of pre-existing brain damage from genetics, from just bad development. Um, their intellectual handicaps and their limitations in their mind make them enjoy marijuana because it makes them think and it kind of stimulates their brain. And normal people, as in people who are not in bottom 20% brain development, they find that kind of marijuana too overstimulating. But for these people, it's just right. It like makes thoughts happen in their mind. And this is the opposite of the anxiety user, where the anxiety user is trying to use it like nicotine or alcohol to kind of slow down and calm down their brain. I'm a nicotine user. I use vapes as a harm reduction method. And nicotine users generally just have that anxiety profile where it's like they have too many thoughts and they're trying to control and balance them. This type of pot user is the polar opposite. Their brain is like dead. They're borderline retarded. They're at risk for schizophrenia from it because low IQ is one of the biggest risk factors of transitioning to schizophrenia if you have the genes for it. And when they use marijuana, it's like their brain turns on. And without it, it's just blank. And that would be opposite from an anxiety user who prefers more calming strains. And they have a profile more like a nicotine user or an alcohol user for anxiety, right? So I remember when I read that, I was like, oh, that's actually depressing to think about because it means there's nothing to do for these people, right? If marijuana was the reason they were handicapped, then you couldn't have PSAs like, don't use marijuana before 18, don't use marijuana before 24. But it turns out the best data suggests it's not causing it, but it's a drug of choice for people who have profound brain damage. And I think that's why the people they organized are all heavy marijuana users, because it's such a strong sign of being brain damaged. Like, as in profoundly, like if the average IQ is 90, 100, these people are like sub 90. And there's nothing you could do for them because that's just how they are. And, more robust studies where they do like monozygotic twin studies who share genes extensively, and the only factors differing between them usually are environmental, prenatal, and things like this. They have the exact same risks of brain damage and risk for psychosis whether or not they use pot. So when the monozygotic twins are discordant for pot use, they show the same statistically insignificant trend, like to have drops of IQ and psychosis exactly the same. So much for that idea, right? Yeah, so like they paid this human ape to stand in front of my house, wait for me, right? And I was looking at this like, she's so violent and low functioning. Like, look at your life. You're waiting in front of my house to yell at me over something that was your fault. I didn't do anything to you. The only thing I did to you was insult you because you were attacking me from the start, right? Like, if you don't, like, she doesn't understand this concept. Like, if you don't want people to yell at you and call you an ugly, fat, great ape, don't behave like one. Just don't behave like one. Like, you're continuing this trend of behaving like a great ape that has your hand being held to be violent for no reason, right? I look at you and I just see pure inferiority. You're an inferior human in every way. And you're yelling at me for absolutely no reason. I did nothing to you. If I were like you, when your dog came over to me and scared my dog, I would have been like, why you attack your dog here? This my paw, get on my paw, bitch. And I would be nurturing that. And I would be like, when I saw you go, I'll punch you in the face, I'm so mad. Like, that's what you're doing to me. You felt bad because you lost control of your dog. And I was just standing there with my headphones. And then you proceed to yell at me. And I was like, get away from me, psycho, which anyone would say if they're being yelled at. You white trash psycho, get the fuck away from me. Your dog attacked my dog. I didn't do anything to you. and you just nurtured this anger. You come back, you stomp around, you can barely talk because you're so limited. You're high on pot 24/7. You're physically disgusting, mentally inferior. And the best part is, like, I know even with everything done to me, I'm still better than you. Because like, this is the thing, like, you can't. The Illuminati believes because they fool everyone's opinions that they're great people, then being good or worse is pure image. It's not. It's not. There, you could get 1,000, 1,000,000 people and could contrast me against her, and everyone would agree I'm a better person than her. Everyone would agree. You live in a world where child rapists are the best politicians. You live in a world where pure evil is valorized. But in the real world, there are differences. Like, if you're a violent person who's completely antisocial, stupid, ugly, untalented, you're just a burden. You are not going to impress as being as good of a person as me. I'm pro-social, I'm caring. I don't attack people for no reason, right? You've made up complete lies about who I am. I lived my life doing very hard labor to serve humanity because I care about people. And even with everything done to me, I still don't hate people. There's no question I'm a better person. So it's like when I see this, I just look at it like, what are they trying to accomplish? Like, I don't walk away feeling bad. And it's really a what, like, this is what I mean. This is why I like to get away from 10th Street, because this whole block, this whole radius from like 9th Street, 11th Street, all around, they literally found the lowest human life forms, like bottom 20%, and they move them in. And it's like reasoning with great apes. They're perpetually high. They're profoundly handicapped. It's like the lowest forms of human life. Okay? So it's impossible for me to feel like bad. I just look at it like it feels like I'm locked in the zoo. And I'm sure if I was locked in the zoo, the chimpanzees would be scared and confused, and the lead chimpanzee would probably tell them to go get me. That's what's going on here with me and human beings, who are the lowest forms of human beings. So, like I said, from start to finish, this woman has been attacking me. I never did anything to her. Now she was paid to wait in front of my house. And she was with some man. I don't know if it's her, it could be her father, because she'd be so handicapped she lives at home. I moved back home when I was working as an RN to help my mother who's elderly and she has cardiac issues. But she was with this old man and she looked to me like a badly aged 30-year-old. You know how you see like really low people and at 30 they look 50? She had that vibe, like underneath how badly she takes care of herself, she was actually 30. That's what she looked like. Like, I'm actually like 10 years older than her. That's what she gave, like, I bet you she's 35. Because I know how trash humans are. Like, even at 35, they will look 50 because of how they neglect themselves. They smoke pot, they eat terrible food, so they just look really bad, right? I'm 43 and I look much younger because I'm the opposite kind of person. I take care of myself. I eat well. I do research. And people like this are saying, I'm gonna eat Rice Krispie treats and smoke a blunt. That's how they are, right? So at 35, they look 50. So I speculate the old man could have been her father because he was significantly older than her. He looked to be like in his 50s. And given their white trash, that's on track in the sense white trash will breed at like 25. So if he's like 50 or 60, that would be his child. I speculate that was his daughter and not his wife or girlfriend or flop buddy. Because that's like the life path of like low humans who are white trash is they reproduce very young and take bad care of their offspring. And if you look at them at 35, they'll look 50, but that's actually their father. Like, that's what I think. Because I don't think this woman's high functioning enough to even live independently. She's probably living with her dad. And while she's attacking me, after they have been, both of them have been paid to wait in front of my house, he's screaming to let's go. And it's really ridiculous because I know they've been waiting there, right? So it's like you're saying let's go, but you both were paid to wait here to do this ape display. And she gets in my face, like I said, she's screaming, "Don't call me fat!" And I'm like, would you rather me call you an extremely low IQ, handicapped in every human quality, antisocial weirdo who's been waiting in front of my house to do this? Would you rather me say that? I think fat's a little kinder because you can change being fat, but you can't change any of those things. Like, I don't know, being fat sounds like worse than what you really, really are, and I could read you for filth with. Um, so she grabs my phone and she throws it in the street. And then she goes, "I hope the phone gets run over by that bus." I was like, God, you are low. You are trash. And all I said to her was, how much do they pay you to wait here? And I said, they're going to take your SNAP. They're going to take your Medicaid. They're going to take your welfare. And you can see in her face, like after I said that, she stopped. That's what I love. I love that the trash they've organized, because they all live on government supports. I know this. And like look, I am a democratic socialist. I want a society of compassion, right? When I was working as an RN, I used to say I want to pay more taxes to help people, but these people are antisocial. They are not typical poor, okay? I'm not, when I say these things, I don't mean to humiliate the poor. It is a travesty. I was poor. I was born poor in poverty, okay? I don't mean this as an insult to poor people. I mean as an insult to sociopathic garbage who think they're getting ahead. They think they're getting ahead by being antisocial. And they're being led around they're so fucking stupid. They don't know how weak they are. It's almost like the same scam they pull on the white trash in red states, where they make the MAGA, they pretend they're being held by the hand and they're going to fucking starve. Right? It's the same thing, but for like a more blue state audience, where they pretend they're hunting bad people who are Nazis. They pretend. Just like in MAGA, they're pretending they're hunting gang members. These people are the lowest of the low, and they're not low because they're poor. I want to make that clear. There are great people. Like, most poor people are good people. Okay. Like I said, my family was poor. Everything I ever earned, I had to pay myself. I had to pay my way through any education. The reason I became an RN is because I was so broke. And that was the only route to in the medical field, route to making money where I could do it fairly quickly with a shorter educational track. It's not that I struggled in school, and it's not that I couldn't do other tracks, it's that I was too fucking poor. I need to start earning money, right? I don't want you to confuse when I'm saying these things, it's because they're poor and they're low class in America for money. They're low class because they're terrible people. Terrible people. Okay? And because they're so stupid and so low resources, they easily join these cults of violence and antisocial behavior, just like you can see MAGAs and red states doing. Right? And this woman is so low. She's clearly not mad at me for any political reason. She's not in like the cult, the main cult. She's just extremely violent and antisocial, right? Um, but it has nothing to do with money. I'm not saying she's low because she doesn't have money. I don't have money. I don't have a occupation right now. I have a training and I have a license and I could work, but because of these people, I don't have an occupation. I'm not low. I don't do harmful things. I don't hurt animals. I don't attack people. I don't punch them in the face. I don't get fixated on aggressive thought while smoking a blunt, right? Poverty doesn't do these things. Being low makes you impoverished. But I don't want to get it twisted. In America, you could be a great person. If you're born to unfortunate circumstances, you'll be in that position, right? And it'll be so much harder for you to get out of it. There's a difference between being poor because of you being a terrible person in every fucking way, and being poor because even if you're a good person, it's so hard. But they both exist side by side in this country, and most poor people are decent people, right? Like, I think about when I was a nurse, and like every CNA I worked with was a great person. Like, they were good people, you know? But they were low earning and criminally underpaid. Most people in any society are prosocial. A minority are antisocial. And the reason antisocial people are disproportionately impoverished is because their antisocial behavior, especially if they're low functioning like these people, they can't make good choices. And so they stay impoverished. But it's because of their bad behavior. Like, the right wing narrative is every poor person is in that situation because of their choices. And I'm at the top because of my choices. Like, it's a fucking lie. All right. But then the other side, the radical other side, where every poor person is just a victim of circumstance, is also not true, right? These things are just side by side in the sense most poor people are victims of circumstance, but a percent do it to themselves by making terrible choices over and over and over again. And you could give them all the supports, all the opportunities, you can give them free education, they won't take it, right? And this is why statistically a higher percent of the lowest classes are antisocial. But it's still a minority of the group because antisocial people are a minority of the group. They just harvested the most antisocial fucking people and moved them all here. And they're extensively bottom dwellers. They're desperate. Like, I have no idea why they do things like this. I don't feel bad. It causes zero sadness. I am so able to see through this, you know? Like, I think working as a nurse for so many years has equipped me for things like this because you see the spectrum of humanity. You see people with profound brain disease. You see people acting violent impulsively because they're so brain diseased they have dementia now, right? And schizophrenia and dementia are very similar. It's just one attacks young, and it's caused by damage to your brain, right? So when I see these people, I just see handicapped people. Normal people don't do these things. And as evidence they don't do these things, right? This is why I like to leave 10th Street when I don't want to put up with the handicapped people they organized. Because when I leave 10th Street, they still will hire people. But when you hire normal people to pretend to be a brain damaged sociopath, they can't do it. I'll give you a great example. Like, I left 10th Street, so now I'm near normal people, people that were not moved in for their brain damaged antisocial qualities. And they'll do stuff like they'll try to like bring their dog near me, but have a pleasant conversation. They're incapable of being weirdly angry and violent for no reason, right? That handicapped people can easily do. At the most extreme levels of handicap, when you're like mentally ill or demented, you can become violent for no reason at all. It's not simply taking something that happened and skewing it like a grade 8, but you can literally like, I have one memory the first day I was on a psych ward, like in school. I was on the floor and this woman walked up to me and tried to punch me in the face. And she believed I did something to her, right? That's when you have a severe mental impairment, you do stuff like that. And I don't even think this woman was a psychotic person. She just had like a diagnosed like explosive anger disorder. At the most severe levels of brain damage, you don't even need to twist something. You could just become violent for no reason and make shit up. And what I'm trying to say is to get the 10th Street, the nearby surrounding areas, they had to move the most brain damaged, low functioning sociopaths here. And being around them is extremely unpleasant because their hands are being guided by high functioning psychopaths and they're directed to focus and cycle anger at me, right? And if I move away from this nexus, even if they hire people who just happen to live there, they can't behave that way. They just don't know how because their brains work too well. So when I move away, like, even if they hire people to fuck with me, they'll be like, how's a nice day with their dog? And it's like, they were told, like, bring the dog near her. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, everything's fine. Like, He's a rescue, so he's barking, and it goes like that. For me, every so often, I'll just like, I might fuck with them a little bit. I might say stuff like, oh, nice. And, I might say be sarcastic or say shit, but, it doesn't devolve into, I'll punch you in the face. I'm so mad. I don't even know why. Like, like you're in a facility that it does with the people on 10th Street because of how damaged. I should really upload this video of this woman. It's hilarious. Like, I'm sitting in front of my house. I'm like, they paid you to wait in front of my house. Why are you waiting here? She's just like, and her father is like, come on, Emily, let's go. And she's like, I'm not done with you. And I'm just like, you're a low functioning fat pig. You're stalking me at my house. Don't call me a fat pig. And she gets in my face and she grabs my phone. They probably cut my video off. But she grabbed my phone and throws it in the street. Right. So that I guess I wouldn't bother going to the cops. Like, but I guess they thought like I could go to the cops and get an assault charge because she grabbed my phone out of my hands and threw it. So they made the video and then. But yeah. I just walk away from that like, wow, what a gorilla. This is a human ass gorilla. Anything that would define a human, she don't have it. She can talk. That's it. She's wearing a t-shirt from the last time she did anything pro-social, which was being forced to go to high school. And after that, she just stopped doing anything in society. Um, she's on benefits, and she thinks billionaires are helping her, and she doesn't realize she's gonna like. They're planning to take all those things. You know that, right? They're planning to like make society descend into chaos. I'll make another video about that. Like, I figured it out. Like, I knew for a while they were gonna plan some kind of like mass power grid failure to kill millions of people in the developed world. That's the real Great Reset. That's the real World Economics Great Reset. But I figured it out. Like, oh god, it's 2027. That's when it's gonna happen. So this woman thinks she's like being helped, and she doesn't realize they hate you. They laugh at you. They're paying you pennies to humiliate yourself, and you can't even feel humiliated. Like, they're trying to humiliate me, but you're participating in your own humiliation because that's how low and stupid you are, right? You don't realize they're going to take your Medicaid, your SNAP, your welfare. And when I said that to her, she like, you could see in her face, she was like, oh, fuck. And she knew it. She sees like people on benefits right now are anxious. I was talking to my cousin who was very poor our whole lives. Like, they ruined it. I knew they would, but she was super anxious about, you know, what's going on. They're going to take away Medicaid. They're going to take SNAP. And, the thing about being in my position is, of course, I'm anxious about this personally, but I already don't have anxiety because they've already designated me to be raped and tortured. So it's like, it's like when I didn't know what they were doing to me, targeting me since I was a 15-year-old mentally. Stuff like a car accident would make me super anxious, because I didn't know. But now that I know and I've gotten over the reality that they've targeted me to make a form of social division, hate cult for a low functioning group different from trailer park magas, where they have regressive Southern Midwest adjacent values. I no longer can deeply fear personally losing these things, right? I mean, obviously, I won't like it, and obviously, I'll be distressed, but it doesn't create that same, like, oh my God, when you don't know your life has already been snuffed out. Like, they snuffed my life out from childhood, right? So I don't have that same, like, where does. She doesn't know, like, it's going to get worse for you too. I'm sure she's anxious about the loss of benefits. I'm sure they all are, right? But she doesn't know whatever they paid you to stand here, like, it's going to be so much worse for you. And you're in a delusion, they're on your side. No different from MAGA. Like, I mean, there's no political awareness of people like this, but You could see in her face when I said that, it hit. And that's what I say to these people. Like, had been saying this to them since 2023 because they've been doing this to me since 2022. I've been saying to these people, and before they would laugh, they had such arrogance. I made a video about this. Like, it's really gratifying to see the arrogance toned down in these people because they had the kind of arrogance MAGA had, like libs lost, our guys in power. They don't know. You're laughing and braying into a slaughterhouse, and they're starting to see it. MAGAs are starting to see it, and they're getting real quiet and doubtful, and these people are too. When they see that the billionaires are legislating no more social supports for anyone, you know, they're starting to see like I might have been wrong about thinking I'm gonna make it out great. Gratifying for me to see because I hadn't done this since 2023, and they were so like, yeah, cry more, like in the Idiocracy Court scene. Like you're all gonna get fucked. They're gonna take all your benefits. They're gonna take your Medicaid. I was saying this before I knew. I mean, before we knew they planned Trump Part 2. I've been saying that's what's gonna happen to you. Like you think these people, they hate you. They're making a little cult for you to control you. And so what's gratifying for me now is when they do send one of these people to me, all I have to do is say like, oh, that'll really help when you don't have Medicaid or SNAP anymore. The $100 they paid you to do this. How much you get your EBT a month? Couple hundred? You won't get it anymore. Why do you think you're protected? And you can see it in their face will melt. Any confidence of anger, it'll fade so fast when I point out the reality. Your weird chimpanzee like violent anger that you fixated on and cycled, and they paid you $100 to stand here. Just know this: your Medicaid, SNAP, and welfare is gone. What are you gonna do then? And they'll be like, you can see it on their fucking face. Like I said, I don't say this position of like, I'm wealthy and I'm fine. I say it from a position of my life was snuffed out to control all of you. And you are in a MAGA like delusion. You're with them and you're winning, but you're the victim. They do this to me to do it to you. In the same way with ICE, they pick random Hispanics and do it to them to do it to all of them, right? And whatever delusion you have that you're with the winning team and they gave you shit and it's going to be good is a self delusion. And what I love about the current moment is nobody believed me in 20. Back then I coped worse because it takes a while to learn to cope with being raped every day and knowing high functioning sociopaths have designated you for a scapegoat plot adjacent to like ICE targeting Hispanics, where they pretend to be Nazis to get the confidence of these white trash chuds, right? It takes a while to get used to that. So I used to cope very poorly, and I would scream in the street this, right? They are going to fuck you so bad in 2024 when they legislate, because I knew Biden's going to make way for the tearing down of the country, and I've been right about everything. So I love this present moment because these people melt visibly. I can see it on their face. They melt with the awareness. You can feel as powerful as you want in this moment, screaming at me, trying to throw my phone, whatever chimp acts you want to do, but you're next. And they get this look like, and it's just the instant antidote to this chimpanzee display where their hands are held to behave violent and be aggressive to me is the crushing awareness they can't fight anymore. You're next. And when I told them that in 23, they didn't believe me. Just like MAGAs, like I made so many videos of this. Talking to people is a lot like talking to a MAGA. There's no shaking their convincible self-delusion that they're protected and this is good for them. And it's about me and me suffering, just like MAGA thinks it's about Hispanic gang members suffering and the ones who get caught, oh, well, they were bad too. There's no shaking that delusion until it happens what I told you was going to happen. And now, even if you comfort yourself with your violence and aggression and your meaningless ability to stand here, do this to me, and they'll cut my video off so I can't call the police and show that you assaulted me. You still know it's gonna happen. And when I say that now, your face fucking melts because you know, shit, she's right. I'm gonna lose my Medicaid, I'm gonna lose my SNAP. I'm gonna suffer worst of all. Everyone on the bottom's gonna suffer worst of all who is poor. And you are extremely poor and you're a horrific person in all measures. And rather than you being appreciative of a liberal society, you want to help destroy it because you're that stupid. And they found the lowest trash like you to get their help. But now when I say those words, you're next. Go enjoy throwing my phone, chimp. Enjoy it. You're next, right? I imagine somewhere in an ICE detention facility, there's somebody abducted by ICE saying to MAGAs, enjoy this for now, you're next. And they just stop because they know deep down, like, oh shit, I'm gonna lose my trailer. I'm gonna lose my SNAP. I'm gonna lose my Medicaid. Damn. I felt good when he was being arrested, and I felt like I was on the side of the billionaires, but damn, that is true. And the comforting delusion of having power, abusing people, is gone because you damn well know everything I'm saying is true. And you damn well know you're fucking anxious as hell. You're not going to get SNAP. You're not going to get welfare. You're not going to get Medicaid. That's one of the good things about being in my position is even though I can't work despite having skilled labor and wanting to work, I can't work. I'm not anxious about these things. Like, I'm not saying I don't care. Like, obviously, when it happens, I'm going to be extremely distressed, but I don't have the same anxiety as these morons in their delusions. Their delusions, they're with them. Their delusions, they're winning. Their delusions, they're getting the bad people, and we're going to be all right. They have that anxiety because they weren't already told, like, you're taken out. They don't know they're next. They put one cow on the beginning of the slaughter line, so the other ones stand behind and go, yeah, get him. And they're all on mine too, and they don't know it, right? So it's really, at this stage of the plot, it's amusing for me to look at them and be like, just say that to them, and you can see their face melt because they know I'm saying the truth. Yeah, I don't know why they think this bothers me. Um, like it would make me feel bad or anything, but like, you know, the like if a pit bull barks at you or a chimp comes like doing this, like yeah, you're not liking that, but it doesn't create like if a pit bull were to bark at me, I would be like nervous in the moment, but I would just look at it like someone should do something about that dog. That's how I feel about these people. Like they're utterly incapable of producing negative emotions because they're so profoundly inferior specimens of humanity in every way. They're horrific human beings. They're selfish. They're evil. They're violent. They're uncooperative. They have no talents. And they're so fucking stupid. They help the people who are going to legislate their deaths while feeling a delusional uplift attacking an innocent person. Like, I don't know what they think they're accomplishing with this, but it creates a similar dynamic as being screamed at by a pit bull. Like, in a sense, it's not pleasant, but you don't feel bad. You don't have a pit bull's approval. You know, like that's what it feels like every time they send this trash to me. It feels like being attacked by a pit bull. In the sense, it's like, I mean, they're trying to create a sense of social shame or a feeling of being like feeling bad about myself, but it has no capacity to do that. I don't know. Weird.